everybody. Welcome to, this is sort of patch flip, doing one every once in a while. And this is really just to celebrate the release of the Gforce Software Oberheim OBX. Now, the reason this is a big deal is because it's the first officially endorsed Oberheim synthesizer, and it's a sort of celebration of one of the first actual kind of classic analog OB series, originally released in 1979. You know, achieved legendary status as many of the synthesizers of that era, and especially because of the Oberheim thing. It has a certain poignancy. You know, Tom's an elderly gentleman now, and it's nice to see a lot of his kind of early work being brought into more considerable focus. And Gforce are the people to do that. They are well known for their sort of meticulous and quite often late delivered software because they're so sort of passionate about getting it right. I know that's changed in recent years, but when we first started covering them, Dave used to get in trouble for saying, yes, it'll be ready by X, and then finding that it wouldn't be. And it's because they want to make sure it's all right. So this is the UI. It's got, I'm reading from the bullet points, powerful preset browser. We've got 4 macros here as well. We've got a vintage knob for more authenticity, and what that does, as with many of these kind of vintage emulations, is it introduces more sort of randomness and wonkiness, because a lot of these instruments, I mean, barely you'd find two that sound the same even at the time they were produced, let alone now after however many years, you know, nearly 40 years. So therefore, you know, we've just got this kind of, because it's obviously software, it reintroduces things. I don't need to go on about that. You know all of that stuff. That's how it works. As usual, I'm going to use the Axiom 61, which is good because it has the program change thing, and it means I can flip between programs. And what I've actually done, if I go to the preset browser, I just favorited a whole bunch of things, and then what I did is I added them to program changes, which is the way that you do this. I must admit, I'm still hoping that one day we'll be able to map these over MIDI, because then I could just quite easily, for instance, just have buttons or knobs that would just change programs, and I wouldn't have to be fiddling around with all these program changes, and it would just increment, decrement, please. That's all I want. Some synths do it, not many though. So what I'll do is I'll start at, let's go to program, and we'll start at program 0, which I think is... It's sort of classic. And we got macros on this. If I flip to this, I'll just hold on to it. This is by Drew Schlesinger, so we've got filter cut off. I can add more effects. And these are really easy. You just map them with CC, you click on it, and then you wiggle your knob, and it just basically works. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, yummy. What's next in the list? Go to program mode. This is showing off the arpeggiator, which you got in here as well. I mean, these are quite heavy on effects, and they do have really nice effects in them, but that's one thing that the sort of later on Gforce software plugins have added, a really nice set of... Who's that one by? Christian Lafitte. I'm not aware of his work, so nice one, Christian. Let's try another one. Just bring... Yeah, analog brass. I mean, you know... Got aftertouch on this. Incidentally, this does actually also have polyphonic aftertouch. It will... this keyboard doesn't... transmit it, so I'm afraid I can't demonstrate it. I did actually hook up the Osmos, and it sort of worked, but I found I could get polyphonic aftertouch, but and it will allow pitch bend. You can actually, in here, you can set up so it'll respond to poly pitch bend. It doesn't seem like, it's not full MIDI implementation or MPE implementation, but what I found was I would lose the depth of the aftertouch. So I'm not quite sure if that's the Osmos or if that's just a Gforce thing. I'm not sure. But anyway, back to some more programs. Who's this one by? Sync Sweep. Drew. Like that. Let's go back to program. I can't play it, I won't play it, but that's as close as I'm going to get. But I will also take this opportunity to let you know that we're running a competition at the moment. It ends on November the 15th, 2023. And you just need to enter by going to the URL below, answering a question, putting your email in, and you could win 3 Gforce plugins of your choice. Pick any 3 you like, and that's available. The winners, there are 3 winners, so they're giving away 3 sets of 3. The competition is called 3 for 3. So if you want to join or enter, all you do is go here. Don't forget to check your email, because we do need to verify it to make sure that we can get in touch if you're a winner. But yeah, I think I might go for the OBX if I was going to do that. Arps of Jar. This is, I'm guessing, Jean-Michel rather than Jar Wobble, or Jar as in God. Oh, that's nice. Quite a lot of vintage going on in that. It's just you can see there's a lot more variation. Who's that one by? Drew Schlesinger again. I'm not sure if maybe this has put them in some kind of order, maybe. Maybe that's what's going on. Okay, I'll do that one manually. Bailey bass. Oh, yeah. Those of you who are old enough might remember the Thompson twins. I can't play any of their bass lines, but they had this... had a very specific sound. And Tom Bailey was the lead vocalist / I think he was one of the keyboard players, or did he play guitar? I can't remember, but Thompson twins, fond memories. Let's go program. Some really interesting filter points on this, even though we've actually only got the filter. There's no state variable filter on this in terms of kind of moving through band pass or high pass or any of that. It's just a low pass emulation with... This has the hand of Dave Spears, I reckon. Let's have a look. No, Tom Wolfe. We spoke to Tom Wolfe in the past, and so... That sounds like it's bringing in... Yes, it has got a lot of reverb on it, doesn't it? Let's just check that we're going to program mode. Let's try another one. Another thing that the Oberheim had a really nice polyphonic, or was that maybe it's pitch? Because in the other enhancement, if we've got X LFOs and X ADSR, which we can basically assign to any parameters, and they just kind of keep coming. There's no limit on this. It's quite an interesting concept. So you just got freely assignable ADSRs and envelopes. That sounds like... So that's... Yeah, so we can basically freely assign them as we wish. So you end up with just loads of sort of free... I suppose could I call them freelance? Freely assignable LFOs and XADSRs. And this it's a really nifty way of just kind of piling up. Rather than having a mod matrix, it's just like, oh, I need something to do that, to modulate that, and you can use an XLFO or an XADSR. Let's get back onto another program. Zardonic. He's done a few of those. We bumped into Zardonic at Superbooth last year. He's a really interesting guy, and some of the sounds he's got in here really got a load of character. Swing. Nice, I like that. It's called Chaos. Let's try another one. That's a very authentic filter, isn't it? Another zardonic. Very nice. Let's try another patch. This one, Blade Runner. I mean, come on. Good work, Jamie from Synths. This is, I think I can play the riff. Okay, here we go. So I'll try it. So. Almost. Close enough, but yeah, that's quite a nice emulation. I mean, it's capable of some very big Unison bass sound. That's a 16 voice Unison detune. What happens if I click on it? I think there's some more panels. Yeah, here we go. Voice panning. Look, we can actually. Oh, that'd be interesting. I don't think that works in that mode, but that's nice to see that individual voice panning. I think that might have been there on the original. Was it on the back? If I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I do beg your pardon if I'm mistaken. I never really got my hands on one of these in the flesh, so it's all a bit from memory and pictures. The macros. Really quite remarkable when you consider just how few wave shapes there are in the oscillators. Quite astonishing, really. Who was that by? That was by Graham Rawson, another name I haven't come across before, but nice work. Nice little ticky. Ramon Kirstens. Still don't know. I'm not sure if I... Interesting. Okay. A lot of reverb on that one. What's next? This sounds like sardonic, if ever I heard it. Yeah. It seems to get those really nice, massive sort of... Unison detune. Yeah, I like that. Let's try. Nice and dreamy. There's over 400 presets with this, actually. I'm reading from the thing. Powerful preset browser, vintage knob, I've already covered that. Augmented modulation, X modifiers. Per voice pan, I think I've covered that as well. A lot. This synth actually turned up in, it was Japan, Ultravox, BBC Radiophonic Workshop, Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock, Depeche Mode, Queen, Larry Dunn, Youth, Chris Frank, Styx, and many more. There's lots of sort of classic sounds that you'll find in this. Let's get back to another sound here. Another zardonic. He's good at those sort of ominous signature sounds. Like those. Let's try... That's an interesting one. Who's that? Mima. Don't know them either. So we've got to find some great new patch designers, or certainly ones new to me. Yeah, nice. Wow, that's... Tony Lagerstrom. Again, another a new name to me. Good work. And see, that sounds like a bandpass, doesn't it? But it's not. We've got advanced. Oh, these are additional modes that... I suppose in a way there's sort of a bit like the X8, those additional, it's almost like page 2. This is really, that's really interesting. Who's that? Ramon Kirsten's, another great one from them. Get some of those dreamy pads that I know this is capable of. Tom Wolfe. Golden Shores. I'm glad that says Shores. Sorry. Now, I mean, some of these sounds are, you know, they sound like they might, you know, they're not massively over complex, but they have this sort of authority, don't they? Oh, that sounds like another zardonic to me. Yes. Oh, I like that. Zardonic's a bit of a find. I know he's done patches, but I suppose I've not come across any of them before. This is my favourite. One of my favourite little synthesis techniques. This sounds like we've got square wave of both oscillators at different intervals, but also cascading. Dave Spears, good old Dave, seems to find those lovely lush spots. Interesting. Right, let's have another one of those. This is evocative, isn't it? What are we thinking? Sci-fi, Eastern, kind of foggy, one of those villages that's on stilts above water. And there's some stalking going on. We're not sure what we're going to find. There's a hint of a creature in there as well. Like that. Who's doing that one? Ramon Kirsten's nice patch, mate. It's another one of those cascading Elephos. Yeah, they're using the X Elepho. Nice, I like that. Good old kick drum slash tom. Drum. Quite simple. Light bath. Another new name. So it's impressive what you could do with what's ultimately quite a simple synthesizer, but it's just, I guess the trick is, and this is, I assume why it's really sort of endorsed by Tom himself, is they've got the sound of those oscillators and the filters, and that's sort of the thing, you know, because I often go on about charisma of oscillators and charisma of just the basic building blocks. And often, you know, if it sounds good just like that, then you're onto a winner because, you know, you've got all the girth and you've got all the fizz, you've got all the things that you can then filter and modulate, and that's really cool. Anyway, the OBX is available now. I'm not sure if there's an offer still running on it, but I think it's £99 plus VAT. Other currencies will scroll below, so you can check them out. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. See you on the next one.